And a glorious good afternoon to each and every one of you. As you can see, today is Thursday, and we're not in studio again. Now, last week, it was because the Prince George's Finest pulled our engineer over and detained him because he was a black man in a nice car. And that happens out here all the time. This is something, ladies and gentlemen, we have to call our assembly people in the state of Maryland and complain about, and our county council people and complain about. We should not have to be concerned about those kinds of things in this day and time. Okay, that's thing number one. Now, thing number two, the goal was to talk about education this month because schools are just opening, that kind of thing. And on the 12th, we had Tanya Wingfield in. Now, guys, she has got a page that says, oh, come on now, Citizens for Accountability in Governance. And they talk a lot, they talk about government, but they talk about the school system. Now, we have got to get on that bandwagon, come together and push to get candidates in office that are going to work for the betterment of our children, of the system as a whole. Now, we've got folks on the ballot in November. You have Tiffany Anderful. She's running unopposed for District 1, and I think that's a seat that David Murray, who had a job someplace else and was getting whatever stipend the county gives school board members, he was still getting that. But we also have in District 4, Shayla Adams Stafford. Now, both of those folks are running unopposed. In District 5, we have Zephora Miller, who's the incumbent, if you will, and Robin Brown, who is a parent and who has a vested interest in bettering the school system. So I'm asking my District 5 people to circle in that oval because I've met her, I've talked to her. She's been in studio with us a couple of times before. But again, when you are a stakeholder, you have a propensity, if you will, to do everything you can to make the conditions better. Okay, in District 7, you have Kenneth Harris II and Felton Moss. Now, I encourage you to go back to the September 12th show because, again, Tanya Wingfield, she knows what's going on in this system. And she's been fighting primarily solo to make things better. So she does need our support. Okay, but I said that because she said something about the candidates. But I want you to go and look at that clip, and you make the judgment. Okay, District number 8 is Zakia Goins McCants and Angela Jones. Now, what I am remembering, and these are all for school boards. Again, you got folks running unopposed in Districts 1 and 4. I'm saying that to say that in that blurb on the 12th as well, she pointed that those folks, those incumbents who have been there, are trying to get union, pro-union folks on there to push a progressive agenda. And if I'm wrong, I know, Tanya, you're going to check me. Okay? But again, we got to vet these folks before we vote. Now, one thing I do know, and it kind of comes full circle. I do know that Judy Mickens Murray approved a $36,000 payment for legal fees for an ethics violation that the board bought against Shayla Adams Stafford, and she got reimbursed for. Now, my concern there, because my house is getting a lot of calls from this, the Stafford camp, because I'm in district number 4. And no, I will write myself in before I will fill in that oval. And the reason being is that I know my kids constantly get notes from the schools saying, we need Clorox wipes or tissues or paper towels or whatever the need might be. And I just think it's unconscionable for a board member to take that money that teachers could use in the classrooms. I ain't going to never support that kind of fragging. Not never. And I think about Bowie High School, who they had an influx of new band members, and they're short on uniforms. They're short $50,000. And I think about that $36,000 payment. These are the kinds of things that we have to pay attention to and be mindful of. Now, granted, when you go to, well, for me, when I sat in on PTSO meetings, we're talking about a lot of stuff that really does not touch our kids. They're raising funds for, well, I think if you're going to be raising funds, you should have a goal set. This is what we're going to do. This is why we're doing it. And I have not seen that in PTSO meetings since I left the PTSO in the 1990s. And I've got grandchildren in school, so I'm always going to help or do what I can. But these are the kinds of things that we need to keep our ear to the ground to. We need to listen to, have those conversations with our kids when they come in from school and ask them what's going on, because they know they can do a needs assessment off the top of their head, or at least all the kids I've talked to. They can do that. They can tell you what's needed. And we've got to pay attention. All right, and that was for the Prince George's County school system. Okay, now DC is going to have some school board members on the ballot as well. And I had the pleasure of meeting LaJoy Johnson Law when I was doing radio on another medium. This was before COVID. But she's running for the school system in District 8 in Washington, D.C. She, too, has a vested interest because she has a special needs child in that system. While she's running unopposed, folks, you need to support her. Because the one thing I did learn when I did meet her, she is a fighter. She will push. And while she's pushing for her kid, she can be pushing for yours. But don't leave her out there to hang dry. Or hang her out to dry, excuse me. She can use your help and she can use your support. We've got to get our school systems better. Because whoever manages or whoever's in charge of the pages is in charge of the learning for the ages. Okay, moving right along, because we're not going to be in studio today, so this is going to be kind of short, but this is stuff you need to know, and I just want you to know that we're going to still work to get information out that you do need. We also committed to sharing small business information, because again, economics has a lot to do with our plight. And I have been telling you guys for 6 years now, various folks who you continue to support, who are funding your oppression. Home Depot is the biggest one with Bernie Marcus, who stepped out and endorsed Trump on Veterans Day last year, on November 11th last year. And he's putting millions and millions of dollars into Republican campaigns. He is funding some of the folks on the ballot in a lot of the red states. And he's a big reason why Donna Edwards could not fight back and get into Congress the last time. So keep in mind that those donors are entering races to become spoilers as well. But Bernie Marcus owns Home Depot. You've got Overstock.com. You've got My Pillow. You have Papa John's. Every time you spend a dime in any of those establishments, you are funding our oppression. So we need to get some small businesses out there. So you can, some small black-owned businesses out there, excuse me, that you can support. Now, we gave you on the 12th, Be Pretty Not Petty, and meeting your go-to girl who had the Shea Butters, the mobile cocktail business, and she owns she has her own hair salon. We've got those businesses that we need to support. Now, this week, you have black-owned businesses in, this is the time of year a lot of people are cleaning up their yards and that kind of thing. And I want to promote H&H Tree Experts. The owner is Lawrence Hillier. His number is 202-327-4470. And he is not a fly-by-night business. He got them big trucks, just like Asplund. I think I'm pronouncing that name right. And he's been in business for a long time. He is efficient, professional, and when you sit down and have a conversation with him, it's like you're talking to family. So again, it's H&H Tree Experts. They came off of Angie's List. I think it was an economics issue. But again, that number is 202-327-4470. And the next business, and I had the pleasure of meeting this lady. She's a holistic person, but she makes some drinks out of herbs. I'm gonna say herbs and spices because that's what KFC does. But anyway, she makes healthy. She said she's the healthy juice lady. Her name is Bridget. She's the healthy juice lady, and she uses natural herbs and roots for her drinks. Now I promote her because my husband had what do they call that when you have the swelling in your legs kind of thing, and she has this ginger drink for inflammation that took it down just like that. He's able to walk better, move better, that kind of thing. So give Bridget a call at 202-910-2690. She's the healthy juice lady. So got voting coming up. And I really would prefer to do this in studio, but I can't. I got to keep reminding y'all that democracy is definitely on the line. I'm looking at all these folks who are, I don't say attacking Kamala Harris. Oh, she's not black. She's not this. It should not even be about none of that, people. She is a smart, thinking individual. Wants you to maintain your choice. We got to at least keep the benchmark so we can do better. And then we have Trump. God, I say my name. But all I will tell you guys is this. If a king shows up at the circus, that he shows up at the circus does not transform the tent into a palace. What it does is it transforms the king into a clown. That Bama is a clown. We all know it. So we need to get on the horn with folks, especially in red states, and just talk common sense. You ain't got to argue with nobody. Because the thing that I really get sick to death of hearing is millennials and Gen Xers saying, oh, I'm going to vote for him because he gave me some money. He did not give you that money. When you say that, you show your ignorance about, as it relates to what you don't know. That's, you don't know how government works. Please, if you don't do nothing else, type in your little search bar. What are the duties of the House of Representatives? Print it out and read it. What are the duties of the Senate? Print it out and read it. And what are the duties of the president? Then when you do that, you and I can have a conversation. But please don't come in to my DM. And it's not as much as it used to be, and I thank you guys for that, to argue that point with me, because I will never match wits with an unarmed person. I'm not doing that anymore. So, let me see. Do I have anything else? I don't care what state you live in. Go to Ballotpedia and vet your candidates, because we have like one in Michigan, in Maryland, in Delaware, California. We have 5 Democrats that are not running for re-election. And the reason why that is important, people, again, when you print out that information from the House of Representatives, when you print out that information from the United States Senate, and when you print out that information about the president and find out what their duties and responsibilities are. And with the climate of the country, Trump has really damaged this country with all of his rhetoric and all of his hate. He has done that, and that's straight up no chase. He's done that. But we cannot allow that to defeat us. We have got to push back. And as I was telling my absolute favorite millennial, because we get into discussions, I'm trying to find that. Yeah, because her argument is that we are no better off now than we were in 1865. And my pushback is we are, because we've made incremental changes. And incremental change is a journey that does not stop. Just because that's what democracy is all about. It's a choice. And it's not a given. And I think a lot of us take it for granted. Like a lot of us firmly believe, because we haven't seen any different in our lifetime, that school is a guaranteed right. It's not. If that clown gets into the White House and he happens to pull off a majority in either a House or the Senate, that could come tumbling down. And it's all going to be on the states. And then we, the people, are going to be bitching and moaning about we having to pay more money to keep schools open. I know I don't want that. And I'm sure that the overwhelming majority of working parents don't want that either. We need to pay attention. And as distasteful as news may be, we need to look at it at least 30 minutes every day so we can at least have a clue as to what's going on. Enemies of equality will not win unless you let. Incremental change is a journey that does not stop. Don't let your apathy overtake you. Don't do that. Okay, I'm finished. Prayerfully, we'll be back in studio next week and we'll chop it up some more. This is A21. I'm out.